Good evening, I'm Suffolk Ram.
Skazz.
Welcome to episode 254 of the Randness podcast.
254. Oh my god, mate.
Two away.
Oh my god.
So we'll be, let's see what the date. Our podcast that we do in December, the 5th of December. Remember the 5th of December. Is going to be our 256.
Now, what were we supposed to be doing for 256?
I can't remember, which is ironic because it's a memory-based number.
Corrupted memory, mate.
I tell you what,
Run mem check.
What we will be doing on the 5th, we'll be recording 2 podcasts. So I'll call the Christmas special podcast, but don't tell listeners that.
Okay, your secret is safe with me, Gov.
Good. We don't want them to figure out we record 2 and that we don't broadcast live on Christmas.
We've never done that before. What are you on about?
No, we never do it. No. So yeah, we're not far away. It's going to be good. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
You've been keeping well, Skazz?
I'm still alive and we haven't pod faded yet, so clearly there's something wrong.
Yeah. Well, 256 is soon. 256 is soon.
Oh, mate, could you imagine that getting assassinated on 256? They pod faded after 256. Oh my god.
Yeah, they had a memory error and got corrupted.
Oh, sadness. Did they not run mem test? No.
Why didn't you run mem
How you doing, man?
I'm not too
Have you done
bad.
anything
Not
fun?
too bad. Oh, let's see.
Anything at all?
No, well, I've
The fact that you're actually having to sit there and think about it worries me.
So what I've mainly been doing is editing. That's a game to discuss at another time.
Yeah.
But yes, I've been spending an awful lot of time editing our Christmas special games night, and that's been taking a lot of time to do. But it's
technical difficulties.
Yeah, there were technical difficulties about 2/3 of the episodes, probably 3/4 of the episodes.
That was my fault.
It's
well,
all
actually,
Skazz's
technically, it was this thing's fault. It's doing it again, and I asked it not to.
It actually, to be fair, it isn't as bad. Going through it's not quite. There are some bits where it's terrible, but it's not that bad. It's very weird though what it decides to do, because sometimes it's perfectly sharp when you're stationary. Then sometimes when you're like moving, like the radio would be perfectly sharp, but then fade on the background. It's like couldn't work out. Like it couldn't handle the fact that the screen was changing, but it was trying to blur it out. It was really weird. It's quite interesting actually.
I did find it a bit trippy when I was watching some of the puzzles, because like if I was holding like a torch, that was fine, and then like you bring up the radio and that was fine, and then it was like, oh yeah, just now for some random reason, because you've now switched from the torch to another item, we're gonna blur the background. It's like, okay, but if I bring the torch back up, yeah, no, that's fine. You're still there now. So okay,
it's very weird, very very strange, but it's okay. But this will get to look forward to seeing that when it goes live, because it's going to be over 17 episodes by the looks of it.
Just so you guys know, good game.
Very good game. I'm sure we'll discuss it on our Christmas podcast.
They'll find out.
And
if you go, so where was that good game you were talking about? And it's already come out. I swear, I'm just going to have to slap someone.
Talking of the game, have you seen there's a sale on their all the series, and the new one that plays only $149.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
might worth picking up.
I think we might have to.
Yes. So what I thought we'd do this one, because I've been editing, you've had life.
Yeah. Well, you say life. I've been idling through existence.
It's a form. It suits like most amoebas.
Mate, I've been largely AFK through life.
Yeah. Well, what I thought we would do is we would we had our 24-hour live stream.
That was amazing.
A couple of weeks ago, and it went really well. And I thought I really enjoyed it.
That was brilliant.
Zaber joined us for a good probably over about half of it, 2/3 of it, something like that. He joined us for.
Damn sight more than I thought he was going to be able to. If I had to be honest.
Yes. We thought he was going to be a late start, but he had to start early with us, which was great. So I thought we would go through the games that we played. Most of them were ones we've played before and discussed before on podcasts, but I thought it'd be nice to revisit some of them. Some that me and Zaber played that you haven't played. I think some vice versa, and there was some new stuff in there for us. So I thought it'd be good to sort of work our way through. So the first one we picked up was For the King, which you've played with Zaber.
Yep.
I've played with Zaber, but we've not all three played together. And we've obviously got a games night session, me and Zaber playing it, and going really, really well, and then dying.
Mate, that was fantastic. Oh my god, what an amazing game.
Yeah. And it's and it took us, what's about 9 hours we spent on that? 9-10 hours?
So one of my friends was occasionally checking in on the stream, and she actually sent me a text partway through the stream. Wait, so you guys are dead and that's it? You're not going to go for another round? I was like, my god, so it was like 8 or 9 hours. We ain't going again.
No. I'm in two minds about games of like sudden death, hardcore Iron Man modes. Part of me thinks it's a really cool, neat idea. Part of me hates the fact that when you die, you lose all that you feel like. Well, that's those 9 hours wasted.
Yeah, that's that strat right in the bin.
Yeah.
Like you know, if you haven't already nailed down the strat by the time you get around to that end point, you may as well just put it all in the bin. I'm thinking you'd probably have to grind early on in that one.
The big issue with For the King, so For the King, for people who aren't aware, it's a sort of a very light RPG turn-based combat game where you play on a map and you move around like hexes. Is it hexes? Yeah, it's hexes, isn't it? Yeah. On a map. And you basically have turns to move around, and then when combat's also turn-based, and it can be up to 3 players, or you can play solo. But you're basically trying to stop this evil chaos. There's like every so often chaos appears on land, and mobs are spawning. They get more health, the more chaos that gets through on the track. There's a little tracker at the top you can see, which shows you when chaos is going to arrive, and you can do things to like either get rid of chaos, because basically if you get, I think. It wasn't clear whether if you get 3 chaos points, the game ends, or if it's the game.
Or if it's 3 and then 1,
Yeah, I expect it's 3 and then 1 because there's 3 slots.
If I had to be honest with you, I'd rather not try.
No, that would be even more depressing to find out.
Yeah.
Basically, your goal is to sort of level your characters up and sort of take on the big bad and save the kingdom. We've played the same scenario. So I don't know what scenario you and Zaber played. It was the same one that we played on that night.
I think I didn't realize there were different scenarios. If I had to be honest with you,
4 or 5, I think, different scenarios.
Oh wow! Okay.
Think, yeah. And me and Zaber's one we failed. I don't know if you and Zaber succeeded on your one.
No, you guys. When you and Zaber played it, you completely steamrolled us. How far me and Zaber got. By a country mile, man. There was no comparison there. So I was like really impressed when you guys said that you'd got like right up towards the end.
Yeah.
And then when we played, all 3 of us, I was like, Christ, like which one is this going to be? You know, are we going to have a breakdown in communication at some point and just completely flake it? But no, somehow we managed to steamroll right up until that last tower, the last kind of boss rush thing. So that was pretty impressive because I'd never seen that before.
Yeah, it was good. We got to, I think it's the second to last boss we got to before it all went to pot.
Oh, wow.
I think it was the second to last boss. It might be the third to last boss, but I think it was the second to last.
Sure. So I mean, when I last played it with Zaber, I think we probably got up to the bit just before the airship.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then we completely flaked it. But no, man, that was the difficulty curve, and that went ballistic towards the end. My Christ, I couldn't, you know, as far as managing resources was concerned, you had no chance.
No, it was. I enjoyed the combat. I'm not. Well, the one thing I don't like is the economy system. How if you just
not at all. That's pretty strict. That's pretty tight.
Because basically it's almost like virtually things almost like go up like 50-60% every day. So something that will cost you like sort of 35 gold on day 1 will cost you like 5 days later will cost you like 350 gold. It's.
I'm telling you, man, it's a scam.
I honestly believe, we discussed on the podcast, I think this is a scam against 3 newcomers. They come in, they go, hey, yeah, we've got this big bad. Can you go defeat him, please? And you go, fine, yeah, okay. And you're going around everywhere, it's charging you through the nose. So they know you need to do it. And then what happens? You go there and they kill you. And the big bad goes, well, how do we get on? Yeah, we made thousands out of them. Here's your share. All right, let's reset for the next lot.
Strip us of our gear, polish it off a bit, and then just hand it off back to the queen.
Everything in the shop is come from previous adventurers.
That wouldn't surprise me, mate.
Yeah,
It wouldn't surprise me at all.
That's what I reckon. It was, yeah. Yeah. No, it was a good session. I mean, why do we call? I didn't think it was going to take us that long to get that far. And as we're like, fucking out, but it flew by so quick.
Yeah, God, dude, that was so smooth.
Yeah.
It was absolutely fantastic. I mean, we did have a few technical difficulties by that point, which it turns out was probably my fault. But considering how rushed the setup was and how quickly we got into the game, that was fantastic. I'm really actually glad that Zaber got in so early so that we could start with For the King, because that was, oh my God, such a solid start. So good.
Yeah, no, it was really, really good, really, really good. So after For the King, now I'm trying to remember what we played. I'm looking. I've got the list of all the games we played. I'm trying to remember which order we played them in. I think, did we do DEFCON next after For the King, or did we do? Because basically we play. So well, it doesn't really matter. Let's go through the order that we games.
Yeah, sure. I was going to say.
I've completely lost track of which order we played games in.
Me too. It's a blur.
So we also played for the 3 we played DEFCON.
Yep.
Which is a strategy game, very atmospheric strategy game. If you've ever seen the film War Games, the big screen they have on the back of film War Games showing like all the nukes coming across, that's basically DEFCON. And you take I think there's like up to 6 players can do it, and you each control a superpower, and you've got nukes. And the game's set into phases, so you have like DEFCON stages 5 to 1, and what you can do each phase is limited. So DEFCON 5, you can just place units, and you can only place them like in your territory. DEFCON 4, you can start moving them to like other areas, and as time goes on, eventually you get to DEFCON 1, where basically the nukes fly. And I think the title of the game is not the goal's not to win, it's to lose the least, because you will kill millions. I'd like literally played the toy about 10 years ago. I don't think you guys had ever played it before, and there was some confusion over the interface.
I had a lot of trouble with it because I didn't have a mouse and keyboard.
That's a very good point. I didn't think about that when I suggested DEFCON.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, at least you were able to place. At least you had to place units. Zaber never got around to placing anything.
Yeah, it did get quite awkward at times having to do anything mouse and keyboard wise during that entire stream, especially when I had issues where my pad would stop functioning, and I'd have to lean over and use the.
Oh yes, yes.
So I'd have to lean over and toggle controls on the Steam Deck, because for some reason my control pad wouldn't trigger the on-screen keyboard function. So I'd then have to reach over to the Steam Deck to toggle the on-screen keyboard hotkey function on that, then go back over to use my control pad. And if there are any times when I needed to use a mouse and the analog stick on my pad wasn't functioning as a pad, I then had to kind of move the setup out of the way a bit to then kind of access the touchpad and the Steam button on the Steam Deck to be able to kind of toggle the mouse mode on that. It was quite a mission considering how little space I had to work with.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think we've ever got anyone who actually saw your setup will realize actually how complicated you had it and how hard you had it.
I mean, to be fair, man, that's quite a standard rig for me. But the trouble is because I had so little space. I mean, initially I didn't even have power, so the idea of actually being able to run this thing for 24 hours, like we had things in plan, and as always happens in Rand Nerds fashion, you think you've got everything kind of nailed, like kind of hammered out and ready to go. And then a few minutes before, launch, everything goes completely wrong. Yeah. I didn't have power.
Shit.
I didn't have any space.
I don't have a computer.
But in the grand scheme of things, I didn't know, did I? No. So in comparison to all of the other things that we've done over the years, I ended up with a Steam Deck and a MacBook Air. And then everything else. So just as a little kind of preface to folks, I haven't actually had access to a rig since probably May or June, like a full-on like gaming PC or anything like that. And so I had to cross town to pick up all the gear, pick it all up, try and set it up in a space that I'd literally been handed the day before. And so I had to set up well, let's put it this way: the microphone I wanted to use wasn't the one I wanted to use because I didn't even have the bracket for the microphone to hook it up. I had to then run back and get another microphone. Thankfully, I had a spare. Hook all that up, sort out the capture cards and all that kind of stuff. Then found the power wasn't working. I could run it for a few hours off battery, but that wasn't going to help. And that was where it turns out a lot of our problems may have come from, because occasionally I had video dropouts. The screen would occasionally drop out that I was using, like this portable monitor thing that I was using. So the fact that it worked at all was absolutely phenomenal. Realized I didn't have space for a mouse and keyboard. I had a mouse and keyboard, but not at hand. But I wouldn't have had space to use it in the area that I had anyway. And then after the 24 hours, I had to then pack all that up and then walk all the way across town to put all the stuff in the lockup before I got to go home and do life again and then go to bed. So it was pretty hectic. But the fact that it worked as well as it did, I'm pretty pleased with that.
Oh,
but, then having to play DEFCON and not actually have a mouse or anything to be able to control anything was, oh my god, dude, it was.
I think if that was a game where it's probably the wrong game to pick, because we all need to know how to play it, and we all needed a mouse and keyboard. I mean, between three of us, if we all knew what we were doing, that would be a lot more fun.
Oh yeah, God, yeah, for sure.
I'm personally going to accept my massive victory I had over both of you.
Oh yeah, mate, you steamrolled Zaber and I.
Yeah, the fact that you allied against me.
Yeah, that was it. Well, because he didn't have anything. I don't think he had anything at all placed, did he?
He didn't know what to. He didn't place anything. No.
So I think by the time I got access to a mouse. No, I had space for 2 radar dishes and 2 missile silos. That's the only, I didn't have time.
And I had subs, nukes, aircraft. It wasn't really a fair cop match, to be fair. But I'll accept it as a victory nevertheless.
Yes, I mean, yeah, mate, take it where you can get it.
We then went on to favourite old game, Golf It.
Yeah, do you know what's really weird? I didn't realise we'd played that so much before.
Yeah, we I think we played through all the levels previous. I'm sure we had that one for recorded for some games nights.
Yeah, because I think there's 4 hours of playtime on my Steam account. I was like, no way have I played this before, because I couldn't remember if it was Golf It or Golf with Friends that Zaber also really wanted us to play, because Zaber's really into those crazy golf, fantasy crazy golf style games.
With the jumping balls.
I just remember him being so psyched that we were going to play those, and I just can't remember, because they're so similar. I couldn't remember which was which. So the fact that we'd already played the one that we went through, I was like, oh, we've played that before. That's not the new one then.
Yeah. I kind of want us to play a proper golfing game, more serious golfing game, which are like the old Link series used to be.
Yeah, or PGA Tour, or
a more just I think that'd be hilarious. Trying to play an actual proper golfing game.
Could I recommend? I mean, I don't know if you guys have, or I don't know if you'll be able to do it. You should be able to if you borrowed the family PlayStation. Everybody's Golf on PlayStation. You can get it for £5 or £10 or something like that. If you've ever seen Hot Shots Golf back in the day.
No, don't ring a bell.
Cartoony characters, kind of over the top, kind of oh, he hits the ball really hard. It's like the ball catches fire and it flies. It's still quite, as far as golf games are concerned, it's cartoony, but somewhat realistic. Yeah. It's quite realistic for a cartoony golf game. So,
I used to play loads back in the day, a golf game called Lynx 386. It was called 386 because the hardware was and also it only ran on DOS.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so you had to launch it via DOS. And I used to play it with my grandfather, and that was a proper serious air quotes golf game. It was serious actually. It's all you had to control your swing and so forth. And that was always really good fun. I mean, at the time, I thought it looked really good graphics. Obviously, it looks like absolute shite, but that was a really good game.
But at the end of the day, though, it's a golf game, and it matters. But it's got the groove where it counts.
Yeah. And the thing about golf games, it's a bit like any sort of serious sports game, is all you really can do to them is make the graphics better, because
Yeah.
you can't like add extra features in it too easily to them.
Well, I mean, you'd be surprised actually, because like early hockey games, for example, you didn't have any deeks or anything, so like the ability to kind of control the usage of the stick to maneuver the puck. So like if someone were to come and try and suppose tackle you or steal the puck away from you, you could swipe the stick and the puck well out of their way, so they'd kind of miss it when they come to try and take it from you. They added techniques like that, and so original hockey games. Have you ever played like a FIFA game or whatever, or like on the Super Nintendo or the Mega Drive? So the way they used to work.
A hockey game on the. I did play a hockey game on the Mega Drive, and I remember the best thing about it was it had a beat 'em up mini game where you could fight the other players.
Yeah. That's it. That was one of my favorite parts of the early NHL games. But so the NHL games and the British football games played very similarly. View was different, but like, so you'd press a button to select the next nearest character to the ball, get the ball, tackle the other player, get the ball, leg it to the other side and score. And so they were really quite simple in how you'd play. Like you'd have a strong shot, a medium shot, and all that. Hockey games were largely the same. They had very basic controls. It wasn't until kind of I don't know, NHL 2010 or something like that, where they really started to kind of add in more realistic mechanics and stick handling to the things. So you ended up with like twin stick controls and stuff. But in the grand scheme of things, I mean, they didn't have to add all of that stuff in. They didn't have to add it in at all. And really, let's be fair, golf. What do you do? Where you hit the ball, what club you use, rough.
How hard you hit it,
where you want the ball to go. Yeah, and there's basically, there's not like, I'm not trying to downplay the skill in golf, because I'm not a golf fan. Physics though, man, it's.
Have you ever played a round of golf?
Real golf? No, not right. So the closest thing I've ever come to playing real golf, and understand I grew up on the Witten estate, so I was a council kid. If it wasn't crazy golf, we were seeing how far we were on a local green, seeing how far we could whack a ball with a putter.
Okay.
So we were literally driving with a putter.
I used to be a member of a golf club.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, he was going to be a member of a golf racket. There is a club around here, isn't there?
That's the club I was a member of.
I was surprised actually how many people were members of that club. I didn't realize how popular it was.
It's a very popular club.
Scary, really.
I was a member of that for several years back in the 90s.
What made you decide not to?
Well, at the time I had no income. It was my parents paying for it. It was quite an expensive membership. So
that does not surprise me. It costs a lot to keep those lawns kept.
Even as a child, it was several £100s a year membership.
Fuck me.
Yeah, it was quite expensive.
And you got to have your golf rackets and that.
And the main reason I was there is because my grandfather, he had a lifetime. He was a member there, and my uncle was a member there. I actually quite enjoyed it. But I wasn't very good because about my eye issue. I have I wasn't very good, but I quite enjoyed it.
Sure. I understand how you feel, because I can't see out of one eye either. But it's always a bit of a laugh. As I say, I've never properly. I almost, and again, this is the Witten estate in me coming out. Someone had thrown away. Well, not thrown away. They were on the street like a classic set of golf clubs, and I mean these were proper, old clubs. Were left outside this house, and one day I did say to the wife, just for a laugh, I'd be tempted just to take them, because she was actually watching a golf anime at the time. And I said, wouldn't it be a laugh to go down to the local golf club and actually see, just for a laugh, just take a couple swings.
Yeah.
Like on the range. And because we went to a tubing place as well, outside of Ipswich. So you know what tubing is, right?
Isn't that? I think
the rubber ring down a ski.
Oh, that's exactly what I thought it was. I was thinking.
So
I think I know what this is.
We went. So
I think it is
the one in, I believe it was Ipswich, or around the outskirts of Ipswich. It was right next to a driving range, so it was quite lethal. You'd be going down this like dry ski slope, and occasionally there'd be golf balls flying over, because there was some crazy motherfucker was good enough to smack it clean over the driving range.
Yeah.
The wife actually, when she got to the bottom of one of the runs, she'd actually been hit with a golf ball, it was inside the donut thing that she had to ride on.
Now the question is, did the golfer come running over and play from the area?
No, he did not, cheeky bastard.
Play from the rough. Sorry, I couldn't stop myself. I'm
Good job, man. Good job.
I'm sorry.
So I saw these clubs and I thought I was going to pick them up, but by the time I went to go and lift them, because obviously after the wife got hit with a golf ball, she decided she wanted to watch like golf shows and stuff.
As you do.
As you do, you know, near-death experience.
I got shot with a gun. Sport. I become a gun nut afterwards.
That's it. You know, but when I went to go pick them up, like a group of kids had obviously found them and just fucking threw them over this.
As they do.
Over the well, I'd seen it a couple of times, and then actually after they got thrown over the edge of this place, because they were just hanging off a bush and halfway up a tree, I was like, you know what, I could still round those up. By the time I went to go get them, they were gone. So.
I think that our local golf club, you can actually go and like pay for like a day and rent and have like get given like a selection of clubs to actually play around.
Yeah.
So I think maybe it'd be hilarious if Zaber ever comes back over to the UK.
Zaber plays golf.
Yeah,
Zaber plays golf. He's got the golf and the shorts.
Yeah, he can show us all up how to play golf.
The glove thing. He's got the with the.
He can do that. I'll see if I can arrange taking us all shooting.
Oh my god, this is terrifying.
Yeah, that'd be good. So moving on, golf. But yeah, golf. Say we played
golf. It was quite. Golf was quite fun.
Maps. Yeah, we played custom maps, of which Abe had a selection.
He'd played those many a time before, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, and we had to quickly exit out of one of them. For copyright reasons.
Yeah, what was it? That was Lord of the Rings, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's Lord of the Rings.
I was sat there what is that? Oh my god! And I was like, oh shit!
It's like, oh no, the YouTube algorithm will find us.
I was like, yeah, but who owns Lord of the Rings, the films? It's not Sony, is it?
It's New Line Cinema, isn't it?
Well, whoever it is, they didn't catch us for the brief moment it was there.
No, they're fine.
So
it's a percentage fee. It's like, well, the films are like, there's 9 hours worth of films, 10.5 if you count extended editions. You only use like a tiny percentage, it's fine.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, they were doing a 24-hour stream. They only used about 50%.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll let them off this time.
Good times.
So we then picked up a game which I've played all the way through back in the day when it was launched. I don't think either yours Zaber played, which was Borderlands.
Now I have very kind of loose memories of owning Borderlands on the Xbox 360. So that's how old it is. I don't remember playing it a huge amount, if at all. To be fair, cell shaded looter shooter. It was one of the first kind of RPG shooters.
Yeah, it was like the first sort of RPG looter shooter type situation, which means all the bad things that were later fixed, it has in it.
Yes.
So it is.
Did we play the enhanced edition or the regular edition?
The enhanced edition.
I doubt it was mechanically tweaked any, was it?
No, it seemed exactly like I remember playing it back in the day. It seemed exactly the same.
Sure.
You can tell just actually comparing playing that to playing like Tiny Tina, which is, it's not a Borderlands game. It is a Borderlands
It's one of the newer
games.
ones, though, isn't it?
Yeah. You can see how things have evolved, what they've changed and so forth, and you see all the problems with it. I mean, Borderlands stuff is a real grindy game. There's an awful lot of grinding in Borderlands. And it has all... That's true, actually, when you go back to like the first version of a game that so popularized the genre, which anybody then copied, when you go play like the early ones, you see all the things that like, yeah, I can see why anybody bothered to change that, and this is really irritating. Good job no one copied it. You see, that's what you sort of pick up from it.
The idea that there was hardcore grind in a looter shooter, even as early as where we were playing, like, I mean, from the very get-go, it was like, there isn't enough. We probably played for like, what?
A couple of hours?
We played for a couple of hours, but within the first like half an hour, we were running into enemies that were already massively over our level.
So, from memory, how Borderlands was meant to sort of work was like, you'd have some level enemies near you that were sort of your right level, and then the idea was you'd encourage you to go to other areas, and then you'd come back and take on the high level enemies in your area. So
Yeah.
what we were meant to redo is go to one of the other areas we unlocked and do a load of missions there, which then pump us up so we come back to the area. So it does that sort of style of leveling. So you end
Yeah,
up
which is what most other looter shooters did. But the trouble is, dude, that interface was dog shit.
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh my
I won't
god,
lie
I had
to you.
no idea where we were going.
Even when I played it at the day, the interface was terrible when I played it at the time. You're constantly having to look at the map. After a while, it's okay. Because the maps are actually quite small, you quickly learn the ways around them, so it's not so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, even back in the day, it was like problematic.
The fact that Zaber kept throwing away his guns, man, Jesus Christ.
That was hilarious. That was hilarious. Oh,
I don't know how he was doing it.
I don't know how
no
he was
idea.
doing it. Yeah. It did bring up memories though, because I do remember I have a fondness for Borderlands because I once you get over that sort of like initial, oh god, it's grindy hump. It is actually quite a fun game once you get over it.
Sure.
But I did struggle a lot with. I did struggle early on playing it, but I remember I have a soft spot for Borderlands, for the original Borderlands, even though I am the first to admit it's got a fuckload of problems.
Yeah, sure.
Ironically, Borderlands 2 fixed a lot of the issues. Borderlands 2 was a bit too big. It like really up to the scale, which put me off a little bit. And I think actually you can tell as every sort of generation, like how like all the way up to like Tiny Tina, how they've improved. There's a Borderlands 4 coming out as well.
Oh god.
Yeah, I didn't like Borderlands 3. I didn't enjoy Borderlands 3 at all. I didn't like the bad guys of Borderlands 3. I kind of sort of, and I didn't like the fact that Borderlands 3. So the whole point of Borderlands 1 is the world you're on.
It's an old mining planet, isn't it?
It's a planet that was being exploited, and it's a planet that's got like a 7-year cycle of winter and summer. And you started in the winter. You got colonized, or not colonized, but all the companies moved there when it was in its cold period, and all the life was dormant. And so everybody was doing mining and so forth. Then what happened is it started to warm up, and then all the sort of like life that was hiding became very aggressive. And so what happened is all the rich people left, and all the big companies left, and left basically all the sort of like dregs of society who couldn't afford to get off planet. So you're basically stuck on a planet. It's sort of like in the slums, really.
Sure, you could kind of see that.
Yeah, and that's all the idea. That's why everything's worn down and broken. That's why the enemies are all. Everywhere you go, it's just hostile because the planet's basically in a really shit state and all the big corporations have left. Borderlands 3, you get a hold of a spaceship and you can fly and go to other planets, which sort of seems to me to break.
It seems to it breaks the whole point of actually being
stuck on this planet. You can't get away. So I wasn't a fan of Borderlands 3. I had Borderlands 3 on Stadia.
I remember because you were really psyched for it.
Yeah, but no, I wasn't. I liked a lot of stuff they fixed in it and a lot of the improvements they made, but I didn't like the overall storyline and plotline very much in it.
I will say there's one thing I can't stand about the Borderlands series that I didn't quite realize how bad it was, but very quickly got shoved in my face the moment we started Borderlands 1. How edgy it's trying to be.
Yes.
And there was a period of games where everything just had to be edgy as fuck. And you know it wasn't written by anyone who would have actually said that shit in the street. And to be fair, had you have said that shit in the street, you'd have got your ass beat.
I think the thing is, Borderlands, they turned it so up to 11, it becomes so silly.
Yeah.
I mean, looking back to it now, it does feel like a bit near, but at the time, it's like, well, this is just so over the top. It's all like loops around back on itself, so it becomes sort of amusing.
Sure. I think the issue I have is that there's now like 3 going on 4 games of it, and it's like, oh, that's a bit tired now, guys. Like maybe it was funny back in the day. Like you often find that first game or first movie funny, it works. You've never really seen it before. You've never really played it before. Oh, there's a second. Oh, there's a third one. Oh, yeah. Like and then they're repeating the same jokes they had back in the first one. You're like, please, guys, stop.
The trouble is when you have a game that, or a film that was produced in a certain year, a certain time frame, and it was based on sort of the culture at the time, and it works because it's like from that right period. 3-4 years later, society moves on. Another film comes
really
out.
Poorly.
Another film comes out. It's like, well, this looks old hat now.
You've dated it.
Yeah. I've still got a soft spot for Borderlands, though. I won't lie. I've still got a soft spot for it. But I will admit, it's got fuckloads of issues with it. But I've got.
I wouldn't mind playing it through if we can get Zaber in and we can just sit down and just slog through the fucking series.
To be fair, the early part's the worst.
Yeah.
Once
it's the same.
Once you get past the early part, once you get access to the vehicles properly, that's when it becomes really fun.
So I was going to say that. Well, that's generally the case with most looter shooters. But then you find that when you get to later game, stuff just gets so easy. It's a cakewalk, or they end up bumping up the difficulty, so it's like artificially tough. You know what I mean? Destiny is fucking brutal for that kind of thing. Destiny being an online looter shooter. Although Destiny, I fucking love that game. I could grind all day in Destiny.
Yeah.
Well, I used to love Destiny until they removed all of the content from Destiny 2. But you know.
So after Borderlands, Zaber had to leave us.
Yeah, he bailed.
So I said, Skazz, teach me how to play Monster Hunter.
Oh, mate.
Now,
oh my god.
Full confession, guys, this is full confession. I'm sure Skazz knows, but was very kind enough not to say anything. I was falling asleep playing Monster Hunter, as in, I'd hit the point of my door where my boy was like, "You need to go to sleep now," and I was struggling to stay awake. To the point where basically, and there was points where I woke up like, why is that guy dead? And I was literally fell asleep, my key on the joystick key. My character had found, there's one point where later on, where my character, I must have just drifted off for like a few minutes with the hold on the W key. I woke back up, and my character was somewhere. I have no idea how they got there. I don't know where I was.
Fantastic.
And I was struggling. It wasn't because the game was boring. I actually from the bits I remember, I quite liked it. But I seriously struggled. It was just because it was about sort of 2 a.m. in the morning, something like that. And my brain was like, okay, you should be in bed now. Go to sleep. I will
say, Monster Hunter is a bad one for 24 hours. And I can say this from experience because we've played Monster Hunter on the Rand Nerds 24 hours maybe 3 times, 4 times. And every single time, because of all the stuff that's going on, the brain fizz just kicks in. And if you didn't feel particularly tired before, you will by the time you finish. And it's not because there isn't a lot going on. It's because there's just too much.
There is going on. Yeah, there's an awful lot of, when I was going through, it's like, fuck, my brain has not got the mental capacity to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of basically tempted to start it almost from fresh and do it again from the start. Because I had no idea what was going on.
To be fair, Ram, I wouldn't say start it again, right? Because you've already made your character, you've already made your palico, your cat. What you can do is just select a hunt again.
Yeah.
And we'll just go through some of the hunts just a couple of times over. I will say I wasn't surprised that you went for Gunner, because you did try doing melee combat. And initially I thought, he's going to bounce off this, because you had the exact same reaction to it as Stewie 3D. Do you remember DeWald?
Mm-hmm.
He played Monster Hunter Rise, which is the one that came out after Monster Hunter World. He played that with us for a bit, and when he tried melee combat, he couldn't stand it at all. He just, there was getting up close and personal to the monster just really freaked him out. He couldn't process all of the stuff going on at once as quickly as it was, remembering all the patterns, remembering where to hit the monster. If you had a weapon with like extra skills that you had to manage, he just couldn't process it all. So he ended up going like longbow, like a heavy gunner or whatever. And when you did the same thing, I thought that was really neat because you clicked the same way he did.
Mm-hmm.
I was quite surprised though that, because I always tell people Monster Hunter World is not traditional Monster Hunter. It's not the Monster Hunter that I started playing. I started playing on the PS2 back when you and I were in college.
Yep.
Because that's when the first one came out. So the games are very, very different. There's a lot more kind of movement in Monster Hunter World. There are a lot more kind of aids in Monster Hunter World to help you find the monster, keep track of the monster, to actually defeat the monster. To find that the game had actually given you, so in World they gave certain editions of the game kind of a booster starter armor.
Mm-hmm.
So that you could kind of get through parts of the early game quite quickly. there's been another expansion to Monster Hunter World called Monster Hunter World Iceborne. To find that they had scrapped the original starter armor and then given, so I checked Ram's stats. Now I'm not dogging Ram on this because I think this is actually this is kind of a good thing. I said, Ram, be careful. But basically, the only tips I gave Ram were here's how you get herbs, here's how you make honey, or here's how you make super potions or
guys, I don't remember any of this. I really was literally running on autopilot for most of this game.
Which is fair, because on one of the later games, I was pretty much running on autopilot, so that's all cool. I think I dropped off at one point. I taught Ram how to, roughly how to make potions, and Monster Hunter World does a lot of this stuff for you, but show Ram where he had to look and what he had to do, kind of thing. And we did a couple of monsters, and I said, dude, this is the business end of a monster. Stay the fuck away from it. Go at it from the sides, go at the tail, just stay away from the face. It's going to do big damage. Stay away. Ram does that. He follows the plan. Cool. We got up to Secret Squirrel before you started getting properly clapped by the monster. And Ram takes a fucking hit, and I'm like, dude, that's going to disintegrate Ram's health. And I'm stood there watching, and I'm feeling pretty bad because at the time I'm using upper rank armor because I've played the game quite a bit. I've actually played the game a couple of times on different platforms, but I felt quite guilty because I was like, I'm not going to change my gear. I'm not going to put back on my lower rank gear, which is the start stuff, the beginner stuff. So the game goes kind of normal or beginner, which is your starter stuff, as your tutorial. The tutorial happens all the way up until you get up to Pink Raytheon, which is when monsters get variants. So Raytheon is a regular monster, then Pink Raytheon is the harder version of Raytheon. That's called high rank, or I believe it's G rank. I can't remember now, but that's when the game actually starts. If you die too much in normal mode, just fucking put the game down because the game is being really easy on you. But I see Ram take this hit. We're playing against Secret Squirrel, and he gets fucking clapped. I'm like, oh shit, Ram's health's going to disintegrate. I've got pretty high defense. I could just stand there and soak hits all day, so I weren't particularly bothered. And I noticed that Ram didn't lose a lot of health. Ram goes, oh shit, he did loads of damage. But I looked and I was like, that is not how much damage that dude should be doing right now. And I took a clap from one of the monsters and was like, hang on, he took less damage than I did. What the fuck is this? And so I said, Ram, could you bring up your defense stats? And it turns out Ram had 50 or 60 defense points higher than I did. I was like, what the fuck is this? His starter gear is high rank gear. So what they'd done was, it turns out that when Iceborne had come out, or Iceborne had been out for a year or so, I don't know when they put the armor in. We'll just kind of pretend it was around Iceborne. What they'd done was they'd turned it so that the starter armor that they get, the kind of helper armor that they gave people, was enough to get them through the entire base game and hard mode, normal mode, high rank, of Monster Hunter World to get you into Iceborne. So basically, you'd steamroll all of the hunts. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, he's got better gear than I have. Cheeky bastard.
Like I say, what I remember of it, I did enjoy. I don't remember lots about it. I'll be truthfully, I don't know how long we played it for. In my mind, we played about 10 minutes. I think
we played it for quite a while.
Yeah, I think we played for several hours. I really don't remember anything. I do remember my cat. Because I think the cats are the best part of the game. They are so cute. How they come running out and they put they'll suddenly be float on the sea. They'll suddenly be floating little tubes and stuff. My cat.
Yeah, bless him.
Sherman Meow.
I love that, dude. I love that. I told people about that. There's no way. They were like, that's the kind of thing you'd normally do. I said, yeah, but when Ram did it, it was fucking hilarious.
Truthfully, this is gonna sound awful. Chairman Meow was the nickname we had for our Siamese cat.
Oh, bless. There you go, nailed it.
I'm sure I'll get me banned somewhere, but okay. But no,
mate, it's all good. We ain't going to China.
But no, I did. Yeah, from what I remember, I like the sort of I think I would have enjoyed it. I think I can see why it'd be more interesting, a bit more the tracking and working and sort of trying to track the monsters down stuff. I will say all the monsters did feel a bit of a slog. Just keep hitting again and again. Oh, is this bloody thing dead yet? No, it's still going. I did so find that a little bit sloggy.
So I wonder if that was scaled particularly because I was there. So the more players that are there, the game scales up the health pool of the monster and the amount of damage that it does. And obviously, I'm stood there in high rank armor, so I wonder if perhaps that was part of the problem, because I did notice when I went in there, and I was wailing on even the earlier monsters. I was like, I don't remember this guy taking this many hits, because I can remember when I played it with Divine back on PlayStation 4 when it came out. We'd occasionally go back to that forest area that you start in so that I could get health potions, just because I was a scrub. I don't like paying for potions if I can just go and farm the materials. And so I'd run through and take out a couple of the, the big yellow iguana thing that you had to fight at the start.
Yes.
I'd go and I'd fight that, and you could literally do that. And I was like, I've started the level, I've grabbed the herbs, I've grabbed the honey, there's the monster, bam, 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 it's dead. And you'd be talking like a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
So when you and I did it, and I was like, holy shit, this guy's actually taking hits. Like, what is going on here? That was a bit of a surprise to me. I didn't remember it being quite as soaky as that, as spongy as that. But I think it would be fun to get everyone together for it. I mean, like I said, it's not the first time I played Monster Hunter World, and I will say I bellyached something chronic when Monster Hunter World came out. Like, there are streams of me playing that game back when it launched on PS4, and I was seething at points. I was having a great time as well at points, but because they changed so much to Monster Hunter, it was nothing like what I was expecting or what I had from Monster Hunter years prior. I cut my teeth on the first one. The first one was fucking hard. If you weren't kind of prepped for it, it rewarded you like timing and skill. And Monster Hunter World was like, yeah, don't worry about that. Or like pattern recognition. That Monster Hunter World was like, no, don't worry about that. Just keep moving. It's like, oh, okay, cool. You don't need to track the monster. You don't need to kind of find openings to heal and gather materials and stuff. We'll sort that.
Yeah.
But it is still a very, very, very fun game. But that's now the way Monster Hunter has gone. So Monster Hunter World started it. Then Monster Hunter Rise came out, and it was very much in the same vein as Monster Hunter World. And there's a new one coming out at the start of next year. Even though I know it's going to be new Monster Hunter style, I am psyched as fuck for it. I'm a huge fan of Monster Hunter games. So the more people I can kind of get involved, the better, really. And if I can get you and Zaber in, I think it'd be kind of fun just to run through Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. It was when I played, it'd be fun. I definitely need to go to it when I've got my brain actually switched on.
Yeah.
So post Monster Hunter, we did try seeing if we get Imperium to run. We couldn't get it to work. Not with a
without mouse and keyboard. I had no chance at all.
We couldn't get it.
We did try, but I just couldn't get it to.
We couldn't get Imperium. I said we couldn't get Imperium to actually run.
Well, no, you couldn't even get the server to go, could you?
No, I think again my brain wasn't quite switched on, so I probably wasn't doing things right.
There was probably some port forwards you needed to sort out on your router.
I've got a spare PC that uses a file server, so I am tempted to set up a dedicated server on it.
Yeah, why not?
So I'm tempted. But after failing that, we decided to go for something a lot more chill and simple and basic and so forth.
Very chill.
We played, and this also basically gave Skazz a chance to have a rest. I played Flight Simulator.
Oh, mate, that was great.
And I flew from Norwich to Billon, which is it's the airport I believe Zaber uses to come to the UK. And I flew my little Airbus A320neo. Skazz got to see me because I went full on, went full on. I didn't go quite full on. There was quite a few bits I skipped out. Some of which were quite important, it turns out. Like how to set the plane up. We had to set the flight computer up and do all the sort of stuff and stuff. But which I think Skazz found, because there's actually a website which is they are a serious website where pilots can go and actually create flight plans and so forth. Well, that's normally cost you money, but they've launched a free version for flight sim players. So it's missing a lot of stuff that the proper full on flight plans, which are really up to date, with more up to date information and so forth. But you can, if you're a flight sim player, you can go on there and you can put on your destination airport, your landing airport, and it will do you a proper flight plan like you would if you were a real pilot for your flights.
Yeah, following all the waypoints, all the markers and that, yeah.
Yeah. And Flight Simulator has now got functionality built in to load that in. So you sign to you basically go on, give them your pilot ID from the system, click a button, it will load the last flight plan you set up, and it will pull it into your plane. So
it was very impressive. I thought it was impressive anyway.
Yeah, and then you can transfer it over to your flight computer. You have to set the flight computer up. I was following. There's a big long guide of how to do each step, which I was following through. There were some bits I skipped out. For example, setting up the arrival airport. That was quite important. I didn't set that bit up, but I was able to get there. I was able to fly, and it was a bit of a chill game because, for large chunks of it, you're just changing your level and just sort of seeing with the autopilot on. So it's a bit of a chill.
Let's just say the captain wasn't always in the cockpit, and he left me there. And this crazy lady started asking questions, and dude, I'm not even on the radio. I can't answer this shit.
The worst co-pilot
ever. They're getting angry. Damn, dude, they were getting angry with you. And I was like, oh shit, I can't say anything. I'm nowhere near the switches.
Yeah, I came back and was like, oh, what's going on here? It's like, and Skazz says, they're really upset with you because you've not been talking to them.
Yeah, the lady was fucking, calling in Ram's call sign over and over and over again. Where are you? What's going on? Fucking trying to find out what altitude he's at. What are you doing? Go down to this level. Oh my god, you're approaching. Fucking go down, you asshole. And Ram's
What I would know is at what stage of flight sim do you look at the cockpit and see the Eurofighters either side of you about to shoot you down?
Yeah, dude, that's what I thought was going to happen. Oh my god,
that'd be amazing if that was in flight sim. If they put that in flight sim, that would be that kind of like a 9 out of 10 game to a 10 out of 10 game.
They considered you a terrorist and shot you down.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Even if it just faded to black, I'll be like, oh my god.
But we flew, and it was quite nice. Sort of, and what I love about flight sim, at least if you leave it to default, it loads whatever the local conditions are. So
yes, we were chasing the sun. It was beautiful.
Yeah, and it meant that it was because we took off in the dark. Because it was not daylight when we took off, but it would be by the time we got to Zaber. So we basically took off in the dark and got there in the light, as it would be correct in time. I think it also loads weather as well. I believe Flight Sim as well. It loads weather in as well.
Oh, there you go. Fantastic.
It's such an amazing game. So fun. But yeah, we got there and we got to the airport, and I then had to land. Now, the Flight Sim has got the functionality to load in automatic landing. I chose to do it properly. Air quotes properly.
It was flawless. Perfect.
There's nothing quite like hearing Scatters, Ram, go around. Go around, Ram. Ram, go around.
Oh, mate, dude, when you were approaching that runway, I'm like, dude, I know I'm not in control, and I'm supposed to be like fucking chaos of the group. It's like, Ram, dude, you are not gonna fucking make that landing at this speed. You're coming in too fucking steep. That's way hot, dude. Pull the fuck up, go around, do over, dude, do over. He's like, no, I can make it. Fuck him, do over. Mate.
I knew I wasn't gonna make it. I knew I probably wasn't gonna make it, but I thought there was a chance.
No, mate, there was no chance. No fucking chance.
Right, did we get on the ground? Did we actually land on the... We did hit the runway. Admittedly, we missed the runway quite a long way along it. But we landed on the runway.
Yeah.
We started slowing down. All was going well until I hit that tree.
I'm going to kind of so when you went to go do the do around, I think I must have passed out briefly. The freak out of you going to pull in that landing, and then the next thing I know, you're doing there's this really wide bank, you're banking really fucking hard as well for an Airbus. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ!
Within its tolerance, I hadn't gone beyond it because Airbus has got those features that stops you ever banking.
Fucking dude, if they hadn't, the fucking wings would have been gone on that motherfucker. He was going hard, and even when he comes in for the landing. Even when he comes in for the land, I was like, dude, that's too fast. Dude, that's too fast. No, you're too high.
Fast. It was too high and too fast.
Fuck it, mate, I'm going.
I watched enough videos. I've watched enough videos where it's meant to go, when you're meant to come down to land, your computer sort of tells you height. It's meant to go 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. It's not meant to go 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 20, 30, 40, 51, 10, 10, 10, dang.
Crater.
Yeah. I got it down, though.
It's like Ram went to the terrorist school of fucking.
Ram Airlines.
So what was it? Fucking Nictopia Airlines. Fucking what was this? Where did you get your training from? Oh yeah, mate, some Japanese World War II pilot. What? Fuck that, dude.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, yeah.
It's like, Ram, they welded people into those planes. They didn't have much of a choice. They couldn't exactly land on an American aircraft.
Suffolk Ram Airlines, we promised to get you. We are to what Ryanair is to British Airways. We are to Ryanair.
Oh, God.
You know, our pilots have some training.
You mean you know what a plane is?
I mean, our pilot has some training.
Oh, mate, it was so fucking good. I was like, oh, my God. In fairness, though, after watching you play Euro Truck, it didn't surprise me. Again, when people watch us play something with simulator in the title, they expect me to be the one that drives off the cliff or whatever. No, it's Ram.
I push things to the edge.
The edge beyond it, mate. That plane turned into a fucking crater.
It did not turn into a crater. Right, that plane was on the ground. It was slowing down. It nearly stopped, and it hit the tree. At worst, one of the wings got pulled off.
At worst, that was a fucking fireball, son.
No. The engines were following us already, so it's fine. They saw me coming down. They would have been. Trust me, they would have been on the runway following us. No, I am pretty confident most of the passengers survived that landing.
I don't know.
I'm pretty confident. Mate. No, I'm pretty confident.
I mean, at the speed you were going, I'm surprised you didn't end up in fucking Legoland, mate. Like, oh yeah, he missed the Billund Airport, he missed the runway, overshot the runway,
I didn't miss
ended
the runway.
Up at the entrance
I hit the runway.
Yeah, at speed. God damn it.
You keep putting this out there. I did not miss the runway. I landed. No.
He hit the runway. Okay, well,
and then I hit the grass afterwards. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Right? Technically, the guys who tanked the Twin Towers can say their planes ended up on the ground. Not quite the right way.
Right.
They did it.
There's the thing about planes, right? All planes land eventually.
That is true.
The good landings you walk away from. I'm confident I would have walked away from that landing. 80% confident. 60.
30.
Well, I saw it coming, so I could... Look. I made sure the passengers went to the brace
position. There's no fucking way you bailed out of that door.
Right. I made sure all the passengers went to the brace position before we landed. That's standard operating practice on Suffolk Ram Airlines. We always
I don't remember you calling through to the fucking...
I told you to brace.
Yeah, you told me to brace. I don't remember you flicking the switch on the thing going, hey, yo, bro, we're all going to die.
No. They're all trained. They know this.
I mean, seriously, I am surprised we didn't have an air hostess fly through the fucking car, fly through the door to the cockpit.
That's the thing, actually. That's the thing that would make Flight Sim better. Is if actually, I suppose I know why they don't do it, because they got a lot of flack over the Twin Tower stuff, so they don't actually show you crashing. They just like when you. And I didn't crash. I merely clipped a tree.
When you have a minor accident, when you have an incident with an aeroplane, the game kind of fades to black with some text that says, "Mate, you fucked up."
Yes, but that text is so pessimistic.
No, I don't know, mate. I don't know, because I just imagined a fireball. I was like, yeah, they probably couldn't show that. It's a good thing we didn't have smell-o-vision, because barbecue.
we would have been fine. I am 40% confident we would have been fine.
We dropped again, mate. I'll give you 30 at best.
32.
If I was your flight instructor, fuck off, mate. If I was your flight instructor, mate, there's no fucking way you'd have got your license. Although I will say I was impressed with your plane setup. That's one thing that really pissed me off about Flight Simulator back in the day. They actually give you kind of like pilot lessons.
They're crap lessons, to be fair.
Yeah, they start to get you used to the controls and all that kind of stuff, like how to take off and all that kind of stuff. And you know, because it'll score you. So, now you're ready to fly your Cessna. Excellent, fantastic. Cessna, tiny plane. I could not imagine doing that in an Airbus because I've only ever flown a Cessna in Flight Simulator. And that'll go, okay, now you've landed your plane, fantastic, cool. Okay, now taxi off the runway to do blah blah blah. Okay, shut off the engine. That wasn't part of any of the training. How the fuck do I do that? To see you toggling all those switches in the fucking Airbus, I'm sat there going,
What I would say though, how bad the Airbus training on Flight Sim is, yes, it trains you, but what it does is it has when you go into training, You're already lined up to the runway. You're already on the glide slope. You're all set up. Everything's set up. You've just got to follow the glide slope. Literally, you basically don't have to do anything. It virtually lands itself the way it's been set up. You don't have to do really much nothing. So it's like this isn't really training me how to like get into position. You've done. It's a bit like you're doing your driving test. You go, okay, we're going to train you how to drive a car. Okay, get into the car. Right. We're going to drive you all the way to the parking spot and stop 1 foot away. You've got to put it forward to pass. There you go. You've learned
I know, dude. I know people who would fail that. I know people who would fail that. You know people who would fail that.
Well, yes, indeed. So, but that's flight simulator stuff. I have now got the actual. I do need to practice more on my Airbus.
Damn right.
Yeah, I know.
You damn right.
Yeah, I need to practice a bit more on the Airbus. And so next 24 hours, I'll fly the Airbus again, and this time I will land because I'll set it up properly.
Brad will be an expert at that point.
Yeah, I'll be an expert. But no, I love Flight Simulator. It's one of my favorite games.
It's a fact. Oddly enough, I think it's a fantastic game. I mean, it's another one of those things like Euro Truck. It's got that thing.
Yeah.
I keep getting told like that's very much a dad game. It's like, sure, but it's also
play
very.
The darn thing and say it.
Dude, it's chill as fuck. It is so fun just to be able to do something. It's different because, as I've said before, most games when you boil down their mechanics, it's usually like mash X, mash square. There's no actual kind of thinking in it at all. You could just literally mentally switch off, spam buttons, and win. In stuff like Flight Simulator, Euro Truck, yeah, okay, you can switch off, but there's more actually mentally going on in some of those games if you want good scores, which a lot of modern games kind of lack.
I remember there was a guy who played, I think it was Silent Hunter 2, and Silent Hunter 2, you basically went on patrols. And he did and you could speed time or something. He decided to do a week-long patrol in real time.
Wow!
So he went on patrol and he basically spent an entire week. And at the time I read, I thought that's amazing. That's bizarre, but I kind of get him because there is part of me who wants to do like a big long flight from say London to Australia in flight sim, like overnight. So I can set up and get to flight and then go to bed and come up a few hours later to sort of finish it off.
Yeah, that would be pretty. Yeah, that would be pretty neat.
Yeah. Why is my plane crash? Oh yeah. Oops.
Mate, you got autopilot. But those things just follow beacons.
Yeah, that is true. The autopilot does most of the work for you. To be.
See, don't tell it to any actual pilot. Well, they probably actually agree.
No. I would say no. This is one thing that someone pointed out to me. He said, think of it this way. What autopilot means is the most dull part of the flight. The pilot doesn't have to do anything. Okay. Would you rather a pilot who has to spend 8 hours monitoring the flight, keeping it level, changing altitude, keep changing trim and so forth for 8 hours,
exhausting.
And then having to land?
That'd be exhausting. No, thank you.
Or would you rather a pilot who basically gets to chill for 8 hours and then has to land?
Let them do the difficult bits.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It makes something difficult. So I don't think any pilot. I think we do it jokingly, but I would rather pilots use the autopilot for the boring parts.
Mate, I know pilots, and an acquaintance's kid is actually currently training to be a pilot. Actually, it ain't easy.
No.
Two ways about it.
No.
When you start looking at the switches in that cockpit, and you're like, what? I remember peak difficulty back in the day used to be programming the clock in your your VHS player.
But pilots have to. I mean, you have to. It's the pilot is there for when something goes wrong, they know what to do.
As long as Boeing tells you that it might go wrong.
Yeah, Boeing decides to fly it. So, you see, this is the thing. The different design philosophy between Airbus and Boeing. Airbus is like, let's put as many things in the way of someone fucking up as we possibly can. Boeing's philosophy is let's keep the pilot always in charge. So Airbus
Boeing was let's change key systems and not tell the pilots it's even fucking
that's when it goes wrong for Boeing, you see, because they've always meant to be the pilot's meant to be in charge. That's their sort of unofficial motto. But what happens is when you put automated systems in, when people used to always being in charge, the automated system kicks in, does stuff they're not expecting. Whereas Airbus won't let you do. There are quite a few I follow a YouTube channel called Mentor Pilot, and he does these really fantastic like crash videos. And he's a pilot. He's actually a what they call a line pilot, where he basically like trains others and like tests them and stuff.
Yeah.
And he does all these. He does these videos of like all crashes and so forth, and really digs deep into the reports and so forth. Really well done. The amount of videos where the Airbus plane has basically saved the pilots. There's one where basically the plane like, you're gonna fuck this up. I'll flight control now, and I'll sort it out. The plane just won't let you do something stupid.
It's probably for the best, because that's. Do you want to know what Boeing's problem was?
Well, apart from
like flat out.
Well, they fired all the engineers and just got people who just managers in.
Yeah, pretty much. Where they basically when they merged with McDonnell Douglas.
Yes, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Because let's be fair,
McDonnell
not the safest plane in the world.
Let's see. Let's go. Okay, McDonnell Douglas. Okay, this company's like got to the stage where Boeing's big enough to buy it out. They've really sort of run it into the ground. Okay, buy out. Now let's get all the management from McDonnell Douglas and go and put them in charge of Boeing.
Dude, I could not understand it when they did that. I was like, wait,
what? Hang on.
You bought MD. And you took the leadership of MD.
You fucked up
and
MD.
Put them in charge of Boeing? Wait, what? Where's the joke? What am I missing here? Who have you left in charge of Boeing? No one. No, none of your Boeing guys are there. Right. So, all right. So the McDonnell Douglas guys have kind of fucked off to another city because they're getting sick and tired of listening to the engineers. Right. They're sacking people, right? Okay. Wait. You do remember that McDonnell Douglas had shit just fall off of their planes all the time, right? Oh, you do.
Oh, you do.
Oh, you were in charge then.
Oh, good. Guess what happened to Boeing a few years later? Shit started falling off their planes.
And now we know. I wonder why.
Anyway, so after my successful landing in Flight Simulator, and it was a successful landing.
I'll give him a 30.
32.
Mate. All right, I'll give you a 31 and that's a push.
32 and 31 and a half.
Mate, this ain't... No, you're not bartering me over on this one. You get fucking 31 or I'm hard failing you.
Well, in that case, I'm going to say it was a 100% success rate. All the passengers survived. Because I'm writing the report.
Fucking hell.
Can you imagine if...
Definitely in charge of MD.
No, yeah. Suffolk Ram Airlines. We get you there.
Suffolk Ram Airlines and fucking Suffolk Ram Haulage. Totally
sister
fucking
companies.
Run by the McDonald's fucking by McDonnell Douglas guys. Fit right
Look, there's nothing wrong with Suffolk Ram Haulage. We get your parcel there, not necessarily in one piece. In the same way, Suffolk Ram Airlines, we get the passengers there, not necessarily in one piece.
Yeah, not necessarily in one piece. Oh, wait, what do you mean you didn't like the body bag we sent?
Welcome to Suffolk Ram Airlines.
Didn't they nicely wrapped?
Now, please, before the flight starts, can you please slip on the black body bag? It just makes life so much easier at the other end.
Yeah.
Now, when you see the air hostesses running to the end of the plane and parachutes on and jump out the door, you know we're about to land. Please assume the brace position.
Okay.
So after Microsoft Flight Simulator, we did play a bit of Nidhogg, not for very long, but that's a great game. Still a fun game.
Oh, mate, that game is great.
That
game is so good.
And then until Zaber got back, we played Dead Island. I had a lot of trouble with Dead Island. The reason I had trouble was it was daylight and I couldn't see the fucking anything on the fucking screen.
Hey?
Because it was daylight. I was daylight outside. It meant that when it was, I couldn't actually. That game will require you to play in a dark. I needed to be in a really dark room. It was so light in here, I couldn't see anything. I know it sounds weird because the game that's predominantly set outside in the daylight, but when you go to the darkest,
mate, you're on an island, yeah. Fucking nice beaches, yeah, mate. This game really requires you to play in the dark. So, dude, this ain't Zombie U. This ain't Resident Evil.
It's a beautiful looking game though. Great fun whacking things.
Oh yeah, mate. You had to save my ass a few times. Like, shit, how do I change weapons? Ram, I don't know how to change weapons. Ram.
No, I can't help you. I'm playing on keyboard. You're playing on a controller. I have no idea. This is a theme for all our games. Like, Ram, how do I bring the map up? I don't know. You're on a keyboard, or I'll just say press the F1 key and laugh.
Dude, that was a huge thing. Was it with them for the king? Was it for the king? I was like, yeah, press that key. I was like, what?
What does that do?
But even on my fucking screen, it was like, oh yeah, press F. I was like, what? Where?
But then when Zaber returned, we played Liar's Bar for our last hour and a half, I'd say.
Yes.
Something like that. Which, if you watch us play Bullet Roulette, it's very Bullet Roulette type situation. It's basically 2 games, and there's a variance of each game. You're basically in a bar. You play up to 4 players. And you play a variety of anthropomorphic animal characters. I was playing the pig. Zaber played the bull and then the rabbit, and you played the dog.
Yeah.
And you basically sit around at a table, and you're playing either liar's cards or liar's dice. Liar's cards, where you basically have to lie about what cards you got, and you can like take it in turns and shout liar, and if you get it right, you win, you lose. And the loser in any situation has to basically, in liar's dice, liar's cards, they take a gun and they basically have to pull the trigger and do Russian roulette. In liar's dice, they take a dose of poison, which is really the effects they put on the other people is really grim.
I don't really know if the Steam Deck did that one justice. I don't know. But I was actually told that game would have really bad performance problems, but it was all right once I managed to get the controls to work.
Yeah, poor Skazz couldn't actually work out how to change like his bets and stuff, so he kept betting bad bets.
Yeah, because it's like, oh yeah, press like W. What? Press 2. Huh? So I was like, oh, none of my controls right. And then when we changed the fucking game, the game mode, I was like, the fucking buttons are different. How the fuck am I supposed to do this?
I was surprised it didn't tell, because on the PC it told you what each control did and how to change things. Oh, that's handy.
No joy, mate.
That's definitely much in the sort of like the chill category of games. That's the sort of game you want to play at the end of a profile live stream, because you don't really have. It requires a bit of thinking, but it doesn't require like fast reactions.
But because of the trouble I was having with control, and let's be fair, Steam input's fantastic, so I can map control inputs to a or like I can map mouse and keyboard to a D-pad and that. That's fantastic. But when I've been awake for fucking a bajillion years and I'm now having to remember, press 2? Shit, what did I map that to again? Fuck. Okay. Oh wait, I pressed the wrong button. Oops. Oh well, I've lost that game.
Yeah. It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, it was neat.
I
will say they're not my kind of games. Like when we played like the prior roulette game, yeah, bullet roulette in VR and that. They're not my kind of games because whilst it is probability, it also requires me to lie, and I'm just not a fan. So that's the same reason I don't play. It's the same reason I don't play Among Us, because it requires you to lie.
Yeah, but lying's fun when it's all part of the game.
I don't know. Yeah. I just can't do it. I feel cringe. And let's be fair, when a nearly 40-year-old guy says that something's cringe, that's really fucking cringe. So
yeah, you know what cringe is.
No, it was fun. It was fun. It was fun to watch. It was more fun actually to watch you and Zaber try and play each other off.
Yeah. Zaber was very good at liar's dice. I was very good at liar's cards.
Yeah.
I nearly always caught Zaber out in liar's cards, and I just used the same strategy every single time, and he never trigged it.
Basically, dump all of the cards at the start, where he's less likely to call you a liar,
and then
make sure you actually keep the couple of the cards in hand that you need to.
Yeah. So at the very end, so he's got a choice. He has to, because if you put the last card down, so how liar's cards work is there are 6 kings, 6 queens, 6 aces, and 2 jokers in the deck. And at the start, you'll be told which character you're going to be sort of lying about, and you each get dealt 4 cards, and so you have to basically say how many of each character card. So if you put 2 queens down, you have to say 2 queens, but because you won't have just queens in your card, you'll have kings, you'll have aces. You don't want to have any of those left, and the game ends when either someone calls, say you put down 2 queens, or you say you put down 2 queens, the person next to you doesn't believe you and calls you a liar. You flip those cards over. If you actually put 2 queens, they take the gun to the head. if you put like an ace and a queen down, or 2 kings, or whatever, basically if you lied about what you put down, you take the gun to the head. So your best thing is to dump as many cards you can at the start, and then when
you're least likely to be called out.
And here's the thing: when you dump your last card, the person next to you has to call you a liar.
Yeah.
So if you get into that situation, make sure you've got 1 card that's correct. Lie it down. They have to call you a liar, and you know you're going to win.
Sometimes I find it's brutal when you're actually playing it and you don't have a single card.
Yeah.
But the thing that you need to fucking hit, it's like, oh my God.
We're fucked, yeah. The one thing I think I've issued with it is, so they are very open to the fact that the voices in the game are AI generated. All the voices are AI generated. They are open. They tell you on the scene page, which is fine if they say on the scene page. What I want to know is, you've got AI generation for your voices. Brilliant. Okay, fine. And you can tell. They are still, they're good. They're a lot better than they used to be like 20 years ago, but you can tell they're not quite right. You can write more than 3 lines of dialogue for each of them because you're just AI generating it. There seems to be like 3 or 4 dialogues for each character, like 3 lines of dialogue for everything.
Yeah.
It's like, you're using AI generation.
Hearing that loop after a while does tend to get become a bit of a ball ache.
Exactly.
That said, though, considering a lot of people you're just chatting shit and the character's voice is just background to your banter with the other players around the table. I mean, I don't really think it matters.
No.
Well, that said, I do wonder how these games keep getting popular and how Zaber keeps finding Russian roulette games to play.
It's rather concerning, isn't it?
Yeah, man. I was like, dude, but you already picked one of these. Like, if it's not golf, it's fucking shooting ourselves in the face. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, what is wrong with you, mate? But no, I it's one of the troubles with Borderlands is stuff saying the bullet roulette is that it's a game that's going to work best when it's like 3 or 4 of you who you know each other playing it. Yeah. I think playing with randos would be a bit crap.
I've seen a few people play with randos since. Actually, it's funny enough. I got a video of the game recommended to me today, and actually that looked kind of fun. When this lassie was playing with these randos, it did seem pretty fun. But then the other people weren't really talking back. Like, she was talking, and they were just kind of nodding with the characters, and that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But no, it'd probably be better after a few beers, with a group of mates.
Yeah. Yeah. No, again, it's in the chill category of games that you don't need to think too much about. You don't need to sort of like. No, I enjoyed it for our last little bit. It finished the day. It finished the 24 hours off nicely. And that brought us a close to our 24 hours podcast, game stream, and it was fun.
It was.
I had to go.
Go on.
I had to go immediately to bed afterwards because I was
fasted.
And I won't lie. At one point, I had eaten way too many sweets and way too many chicken nuggets, and I had to go throw up in the toilet.
Oh wow, dude! Really?
You know when I disappeared at flight sim, I said, "I've just got to go quickly." And that's when the lady was just going, I was in there, I'd eaten way too many Haribos and Star Mix or whatever, and I was chucking my guts up.
I will say, I was definitely feeling my age on that stream, because like I'd had like fucking energy drinks and all shit, and I was like, dude, I feel sick as fuck.
I felt so ill when I was like, twice that happened.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like, so yeah, that's what the pilot was doing when the air control was getting very pissed off with them.
Now you know.
Now you know.
He didn't have a bath bag in the cockpit. He just fucking ran for it, man.
Yeah.
He ran for it. And like all the passengers like, what the fuck is he doing running out of the cockpit?
Yeah. But
no, it was good. It was fun.
It was good.
I do wish I had a bit more. I wish I had a bit more space, because if I had a quid for every time I'd spilt something that night, was fuck, man, I'd have been a millionaire.
Yeah.
Because I mean, honestly, I had probably enough room for my chair. That was about it.
Yeah. No, it was my dogs were so confused. It's like, why haven't you gone to the little shelter? Kept looking at me, why are you still up? Why haven't you gone to bed yet?
It's bedtime, human.
Yeah. Why are the lights still on? We want to go sleep.
I will say, my dog, I was like, what the fuck are you doing in here? This isn't where you go. You go in there. Get the fuck out. I come in here.
Yeah. It was good.
But
yeah, so that was our 24 podcast. Live games night, live whatever. 24.
That thing that we did for like a day.
And and I'm not sleeping at night, so it's fine. So fantastic. Okay, well, that's that then, I suppose.
You know what? I'm looking forward to next year. I've because this is the one thing. Like even when, because originally when I sarcastic air quotes left Rand Nerds, that was after the last 24 hours before this one.
Yes.
I was absolutely devastated because we'd had such a run doing the podcast. I was like, I said to people, I said, there is no fucking way. Even when I'd come back to do the podcast, I wasn't sure if I was ever going to come back to do the podcast because Zaber seemed like he was doing pretty cool with it. You guys were doing great. Even when you did your solo episodes, they were great. I was like, there is no fucking way I am letting the 24 hours just drop off. No fucking way. Like, this has to be done. So, coming back and doing it was really, really fun. Even though it was a bit of a nightmare to get set up. I think it worked really well considering.
Yeah.
I had access to 2 plug sockets and some botched together gear, but...
No, I think you pulled it off quite well. I think it came out fine. So, yeah, no, I thought it went very well.
Next time, though, because there will be a next time.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be on the wrong side of 40 by the time we do the next one. So chances are I'll probably be sat there with my cane going, back in my day, which I pretty much do now already. I want to get a video switcher. Hopefully we can all get together for the next one.
That'd be cool.
I mean, one of the best ones we ever did was actually probably the first time I played Monster Hunter World was 2019. First time I played Monster Hunter World on the 24 hours. It was 2019 when me and Zaber were together. Although I will say there's a lot less space in that room.
That was actually, out of all the ones we've done, that one there was perhaps the one I enjoyed the most, where Zaber was over, we were all round yours, and we just bundled through it for 2 hours. That was probably my favourite one we've done.
Yeah, it's definitely up there for me, yeah, for sure. Because I mean, again, that was the first time I got to properly hang out with you guys for it was just such a fucking laugh, man.
Yeah.
You know, and then that was because I was only about like 6 months later when everything just started to go fucking wrong.
Yeah.
So that was like really kind of the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. It was absolutely fucking fantastic. Yeah. So I kind of want that same thing again for the next one, but I want to have a video switcher. So if at all possible, if you and Zaber don't mind, grab yourselves a Steam Deck each.
Okay.
And I will set us up basically like a little station each, and I'll cut between the 3 different views of us playing rather than having to do what we're doing so if I go to take a break, I have to gaff ram stream into the feed, into the video feed. What I'd like to do is basically just basically fucking bollocks. And then there's lag, and then does the audio actually capture because of the way I have to run the stream. It was like, if I was on my Windows PC, it wouldn't have been a fucking problem, or on my Linux machine, it wouldn't have been a problem. But this thing, no. So what I'd like to do next time is basically have 3 computers running into the video switcher, and then if one of us decides that we are going to have a break, or if we're going to focus on different views, we can just switch to that other computer.
I also say it's probably a lot easier. It's a lot easier to light a 24-hour live stream when it's middle of summer and it's daylight most of the day.
Yeah.
That makes such a difference when, like, the evening is warm, so you're outside. It's warm and it's daylight, so your body's not being fought by the fact that it's dark outside. Your noise not being. It's like you evolved to go sleep in the dark. You know, why are you fighting evolution, human? What are you doing,
we're foolish.
Human? Yeah, I definitely find someone. So I don't know if Zaber's got any plans to come over next year at all. If he's got any plans or not.
We haven't spoken about it much yet, but then again, I haven't spoken to Zaber since the 24 hours. So like we've all just kind of like gone off grid since the 24 hours. Mate, we're gamed ourselves to death right now.
Yeah, that always happens after the 24 hours. To be fair, we tend to like crash out.
Yeah. But we're gonna have to sort something out. I don't care when in the year we fucking do it. It's got to be done. I need that fucking video switcher. It's just got to be done. I will consider Rand Nerds 24 hours to be my birthday party.
Okay, fair enough.
even if it's the end of the year, like just being able to set up. I enjoy setting up the gear and running the stream and stuff, and to be able to do that and hang out with my mates.
Streaming, to be honest. When we used to the podcast, he spent more time trying to get the audio right than actually doing the podcast.
Okay,
He
let's
doesn't
not
enjoy
fucking
this
start
bit.
that.
He enjoys thinking, oh, I'm going to turn up 0.002 of a decibel.
In
So
fairness,
I'm going to change the EQ on that. I'm going to change.
he in fairness, he is right, because that's one of the things I used to do outside of podcasting and stuff. I'd go and record gigs and shit. So, you could plug into the mixing board and just like, okay, I've got to get it all balanced out now, yeah. God, it's a nightmare when you got someone else running the board. Oh. But no, I enjoy the setup just as much as I do the rest of it, So the idea that I'd actually be able to like just fuck about and hang out with my mates and play with this piece of kit. Oh yeah, man, great time.
Fantastic. Well then, I think then we've discussed the podcast and 24-hour live stream enough.
Ran Nerds, fucking 24 hours, 2024. Fantastic. Thanks for coming to hang out, guys.
Yeah, anyone who's joined us, thank you very much. Who's joined us this evening, thank you very much. So you can check out our next podcast, which will be on the 21st of November, 2024, GMT, 6:30-ish in the evening, 18:30 in the evening. You can join us our next live stream of our games night, which will be on the 20th at 20:30 GMT. So you can check out the podcast on youtube.com/randnerds or twitch.tv/randnerds, or you can check out the stream on twitch.tv/randnerds / my stream twitch.tv/the Suffolk Ram. Come join us for that. And we hope you very much enjoyed this podcast. We look forward to speaking to you and seeing you on the next one, and we'll hopefully not long now. We're having this whole countdown to Christmas soon. So for me, the Suffolk Ram.
Skazz, yes.
Have a good evening, guys.
Take it easy, guys.